If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please consider liking it because I'm terrible at FIFA and I need all the self-esteem I can get. If you're interested in football shirts, football boots or anything football related, go check out my Depop. The link for that is also down below. If you do need any coins, head over to u7buystore.com. Use the code TVM at checkout for a discount. The link is in the description. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new series. Not a transition. We're not moving away from FIFA entirely, at least. I will still be playing FIFA, but Football Manager is just a far better game. If you want to play actual football, fine, you have to play FIFA, but in terms of managing a club, buying players, surrounding yourself with as much of the atmosphere and realism of football as possible, Football Manager is unrivaled. It is by far the best football simulation game that has ever been, and I've played it since I can't even remember. Premier Manager 1908 was my earliest proper deep dive into Football Manager games. I put a lot of time into that, a lot. It was one of the best manager games I've ever played, even to this day. Championship Manager 2002 was another one that sticks in my mind. Aston Villa, I used to take them to titles, Champions Leagues, the works. Ibra and Fernando Torres up front, I remember that very, very fondly. And yeah, every Football Manager that has been released ever, I have bought and played extensively. This is no different. I've already played a fair few seasons with other clubs. Today we take on Brentford. Why Brentford? I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this save for. I'm hoping to do at least 5 or 6 years, maybe a little bit longer, depending on if we get bored or not. But I want to start with a much lower team. I'm talking Vanarama or League 2, maybe even further down if there's any call for it. But I didn't want to start with that because I didn't think people would be that interested with players that they've never heard of before. So what I'm going to do is start with Brentford. We'll be in and around familiar faces. We'll be able to sign some familiar faces. For those of you who don't watch, play, or know much about Football Manager, we'll get a general gist of it. I'm going to skip through a fair few games as well. Like, I'll play them off camera and I'll show you maybe 2, possibly 3 if there's enough for it every day or every video. And yeah, we'll go from there. I am apparently 33. Oh, to be young again. I'm actually older than that in real life because I'm old. It's just one of those things. Media prediction, 18th. I'm looking for more of a mid-table kind of thing. We have some club history down here. Won League 1 in 92. The Sky Bet Championship in 1935. The English Third South, the Sky Bet 2. So not an awful lot of silverware to brag about as a Brentford manager or fan. So transfer budget is going to be 16 million. The wage budget, that looks big. That looks very big, actually. That looks really big. Is that too... I don't know. I haven't managed a Premier League club this season, so I don't actually know... I can't think in my mind. I'm used to working with budgets of around £1,000 a week for the entire team. So we have even Tony up front, of course, Onyeka in the middle. They're playing a very similar system to the one I would like to implement. I'm actually going to play with 2 strikers, a cam, and then one of these 3 will be a holding anchor player. But everything else is basically the same. But we'll continue going. The board, what do they expect? The chairperson, who looks very cool in that very small picture that you can barely see there. What do they want me to do? They want me to fight bravely against relegation. They would like me to reach the FA Cup 5th round. And they would also like us to reach the Carabao Cup 4th round. Going forward to next season, work towards becoming a Premier League division team, established, that is, and then a season after season. They literally just want to stay in the Premier League. They have absolutely no aspiration other than, can you keep us up and then just keep us there? That's all we want. We just want to be in that division. We don't want to go down, and that's fine because that's exactly what I want to do. Arrange intra-squad friendly meetings with backroom staff. We'll do that every fortnight. I never really go to them, to be honest. And of course, you need a press conference with the media. The team has been assembled and we are ready to... I mean, to be fair, we're ready to dive into the transfer market. We are in desperate need of some players. The team is... Obviously, some are still on holiday. It's still pre-season. We have a fair few injuries down here as well. Josh Da Silva is out, if it lets me highlight this. You can't quite... Well, you can't quite. 7 to 8 months. That's basically the entire season he's gone. So that's... As far as I'm concerned, he can be banished to the under-23s because he's not coming back anytime soon. Just get him away from me. Matthias Jensen out for 5 weeks, between 5 weeks and 2 months. That's not too bad. Will he play when he comes back in? Depends how well we do in the transfer market, to be honest, because I need someone in there who can replace Da Silva and now Matthias Jensen. We do have... I can't say his name. Janelt? What nationality is he? German. Doesn't help. Vitaly Janelt. Call him that for now. He's alright. There's nothing really wrong with him. It's going to take me a good few in-game weeks to become accustomed to what level we're playing at in terms of the stats. Looking at that, because I'm used to playing in the Vanarama South, I've just been promoted. That is an insane player. He would be my star man. But in this league, he's probably not good enough. So, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. Because like I said, I haven't managed in the Premier League this season in FM22. To be fair, it's been a long time in general since I've managed in the Premier League. So I don't really know the quality I need to be at. I'm guessing far more green stats than that. I think we may have found our next target. Phil Jones didn't work out. This guy wants, or currently is on, £15,000 a week. I can cope if he wants anything up to about 20. Anything more than that, we may have to pull the plug on this one as well. Ideally, he would have better tackling and maybe, what else was it? Better concentration. Not a massive fan of his 9 concentration, but he's 26. He's got a little bit more room to improve. He's not quite at his peak just yet. I can't imagine it'll go much higher, but he's got great physical stats, some decent mental stats dotted around, good heading. I like him. And he was cheap as well, because I've done what you have to do when you have this type of budget. It says that we've put in an offer of 6 million that may eventually rise to 17.25 million. I am never going to pay that. Well, not unless we get super lucky. Basically, in the negotiation with the club, I said that I would give them like 10 million if we win the league in the next 2 seasons. If we win the league in the next 2 seasons, I will walk the money to the club and hand it to them myself. So I'm not bothered about that. What I am bothered by is that he wants a ridiculous amount of money. Now, it's not really that bad, but that is literally all we have. If I give him 40 grand, we cannot sign anyone else unless I adjust the transfer budget down to meet the wage. So I'm going to be cheeky and I'm going to offer him 10 grand less. I'll knock an extra 100k there. Maybe knock this up a little bit. Clean sheet bonus. You can have a lot if you want, because I don't really expect to keep many clean sheets. Unused substitute fee. You can have quite a lot because he's going to be our main centre-back, essentially. And maybe optional contract extension. What are we saying? No. Not even close. I am adamant, though, that 30k will do it. I just need to make sure. Should we max that out? Let's do, after 30 games, you can have 35,000. He's alright with it. I've saved myself 30 games of 5,000 a week, which at the moment sounds good. Long term, maybe not so much, but we can try and move people off the wage bill. I don't mind paying him 40 grand, to be honest. I don't mind paying him 35. But at the moment, we can't afford it. So if I can just free up that, like, give me some breathing room. We've got a couple of offers coming in for some players as well, so we could free up some space on that wage bill sooner rather than later. Ladies and gentlemen, wagons roll. We have our first purchase. It is Wallace, the centre-back. I'm not going to refer to him as Wallace, the centre-back. He's not actually particularly that good at defending, but I'm hoping his physical and mental attributes carry us through. And he's going to be an improvement over Jansen, who is a lot slower, not as physical. His strength is 17, with a great jump in reach, balance, bravery and aggression. This guy is going to be in there, knocking into those really high-priced, high-talented players. You know, the Kevin De Bruyne's. He's going to be challenging and he's going to be winning those headers and the physical battle. And that's what I'm going to rely on. We are on get stuck in as well. With 16 aggression, I imagine he will get several red cards. But we have been granted a work permit. It does say it will rise to 17,500. Like I said before, it won't, because we're not going to win the Premier League in our first season. And there we go. Deal done. Wallace is now a Brentford player. We've only gone and done it again. It's been a long time since I last recorded a segment for this. I have been in the market for about an hour looking at potential options. And honestly, this is the best I could come up with. To be fair, he is not a bad player at all. He's only 24. He wants to use the club as a stepping stone, which I'm okay for. By the time he's 26, 27, will probably, well, hopefully be good enough that he'll want to stay anyway. But definitely better than what we have right now in this position. Would prefer it if his stats were a little bit higher here or there, but generally he is a much better secondary CM for us, and he has been granted a work permit. We will have to shell out 2.9 million right now. It may eventually rise to 6.5. To be fair, the majority of it will rise to 6.5 because it's things like installments and there's a loyalty bonus in there. As you can see, avoid relegation 105,000, unused substitute fees, appearance fees, loyalty bonus, and all the rest of it. Well worth it for that player. I just wanted to take out as minimal as amount as I could this season, and that's going to be the main focus of every single transfer that we have. But we have introduced another player into the team. I want at least one more. I need a left wing back, but I want to sell Henry, which is not really happening right now. I've tried to sell him for 50 million because that's what the game told me he was worth, and now it's telling me he's worth 22 million. I still want to sell him because I feel like there are far better options out there. They are coming thick and fast, these transfers. Borna Barisic, older than Henry, not as good as Henry. Why am I buying him? He's got better crossing, better corners, better free kicks. We are going to be playing for set pieces. He's going to be my best free kick taker, I would imagine. His concentration isn't as high as I wanted to be. He's unlikely to improve now, unfortunately, but that's life. But generally, going forward, he's just better, and he cost me far less. And if I can get 20 to 25 million for Henry and his wage gone, this would be a decent bit of business for the first season. I've played a lot of this game. I know what I'm doing, trust me. This deal brings me an immense amount of joy. We are about to bring Yanis Hadji into Brentford. Insane little player, 22 years of age. I imagine still has a long way to go in terms of improvement. Will be our main attacking midfield player. We do already have a player in that position who is actually quite good, but I'm hoping to either retrain him into a different position or maybe just use both of them in some sort of rotation. Either way, I'm maybe not looking at what I need rather than what I want, which is not a good thing, but when you have someone technically this good with potential to go even better, you have to. They only wanted around 12. I've had to give them 13.5. So in the end, they did actually want 13. He's been granted a work permit. He didn't really want that much in terms of a wage. How much? I think I've given him 28,000 in total a week. Doesn't necessarily want to be a regular starter just yet. Realizes there's plenty of competition. I don't know why, because he's agreed to be a squad player, wants to be an important player by 23, 24, wants to be a regular starter by next season. I would imagine he's going to be a regular starter for us this season. I have a bit of a problem. It's unavoidable. It's to do with the schedule. Our pre-season is going very, very well. We're playing teams that we really shouldn't be playing, but look at the start of the season. We have Liverpool on the opening day. Then we have Manchester United. Then we have a Carabao Cup second round game against who knows. But then we go back into the league against Manchester City, and then we play Spurs. Then we're back on our own level for the first time in the season, and then we play Arsenal. And of course, Newcastle have just been given an unlimited transfer budget, so I'd be very interested to see if they've spent much of it. They've bought Joe Willock of Arsenal, which tends to be... I've seen that quite a lot. 25 million they've paid for him. And they've brought in a youth player from Liverpool, a few other youth players. They've sold a lot of the backlog, but they've not brought in a big name yet. With the money that they have, it's only a matter of time. If they can not do that before the end of the window, I'd be very grateful, because when we play them, I would like them to have a not very good team, please. It turns out I did actually need Hadji, and I didn't realise I did, because Halil, and I can't say his surname, who I was originally going to play in that central attacking midfield role, he's actually on loan at Galatasaray, and for some reason I completely blanked it, because I put everyone in at once, and it was a lot going on. He's not even there. He's not even in the club. I had him as that central attacking mid, and I've not been playing friendlies, so I didn't really know that he wasn't there, but he's out on loan. So had I not signed Hadji, we would have been playing probably maybe Godos, potentially, as our central attacking midfield player, which, to be fair, is not a bad thing. He's not terrible, but Hadji is definitely better. So now I feel a lot better about this deal. Now, I mean, look at that. He's much better. I am so happy that we've picked him up. I just hope that he knows how to play in the Premier League. That's the next concern. In what could potentially be one of the final sign-ins, if you will, of the window, I have gone after Ludwig. I can't say his name. Iorke. He will be my poacher striker for the season. Him and Ivan Toney up front. Ivan Toney is going to be an advanced forward. He's going to be able to do a little bit of everything, create chances, score goals, etc. Iorke is what I'm going to call him. He will be more of a, if there's a chance, a loose ball, he's there. He's good in the air, got a good work rate, he's very strong, good jumping, good balance, corners, etc. And then, of course, finishing with a little bit better composure than his predecessor, I guess you could say. He's on loan from Strasbourg. I can't see this turning into a permanent transfer, because they're going to want around 8 million for him. I don't think I'm going to be in a position to offer that, unless he is insane, which is probably not going to be the case. We have just played our final friendly game against Sparta Rotterdam. I'm not seeing Iorke there just yet, so maybe he's still on the plane. I've got no idea. Like I said, we just played our final friendly game. We have won every single friendly pre-season, only conceding 3 goals, which I think is quite impressive. However, they are all terrible teams. Sparta Rotterdam probably being the best team of the lot. We beat them 3-0. We play Liverpool in less than a week. The eve of our debut game against Liverpool, away from home at Anfield, not the easiest place to go. And I am a Liverpool fan, so I'm going to be biased. Probably the hardest place in the world to go. We're not the favourites by any stretch of the imagination. 3-1 to win. I've had some massive insubordination in the ranks in the last couple of days. I have had to put my foot down, really, with a couple of players. So Jorgensen, I had to unregister in order to register Iork as our striker. I had too many people registered for the season. And he did not react well to it at all. So I marked him surplus to requirements and transfer listed him, and now I'm trying to get rid of him. He obviously isn't happy about that. He's not a bad player. He's just the oldest defender that we have, and therefore not really needed, given that we've just signed a new defender in Wallace as well. Then I had Beck Sorensen. Who else came to me? Mats Bitstrup and Marcus Force came to me, all unhappy at the treatment of Jorgensen. So all 3 of them are now transfer listed as well. You do not come to me with problems. You keep them to yourself, bury them deep down until you move to another club and finally write a book at the end of your career. You do not moan to me or I will get rid of you. All 3 of them, in fact, technically speaking, all 4 of them are now up for transfer. I have 2 weeks before the transfer deadline day. If I can get all 4 of them gone and replace them with better players, I'll do it. This is going to be where we end today's episode. That's the team that will face Liverpool, regardless of whether we get an offer for all 4 of them in the next 5 minutes and we get them all gone by tomorrow. I will not have time to bring anyone in. We play Liverpool tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. So that's the team that's going to play them. Is it well set up? Have I looked into it? Do I know if that's going to be good enough to beat them, to compete against them? Are we going to get torn to pieces? 2 centre-backs doesn't sound like enough when you're having complete wing-backs. I know, but we're going to try. Join in or tune in to the next episode to find out how our first 2 games of the season go against Liverpool and Manchester United. If you have enjoyed it and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, and until the next time, goodbye.